Hello again, everyone, and thanks for joining us on our weekly Watch Party Wednesday. I'm Lee Gordon, coming to you from a snowy Chicago, home of Brunswick, where we're thrilled to welcome our incredible Freedom Boat Club members and owners from around the world. And tonight, we've got a very special one. I've got my Hawaiian shirt twin once again. We've got Nick Gosselin, the Director of Marketing from Freedom Boat Club, and our very own Thanksgiving special. And Nick and I always go back and forth on email. We always, I'm a Bears fan. He's a Patriots fan. It's a rough year for both of us. So we should probably just forget about football, and I'll just ask you how you doing.
I'm doing greatly, and that sounds perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. If the Bears and Patriots did play this year, we would have to go through the hardship of that, but we'll let it go on this one. So let's talk a little music. And I know you're a big music guy, and you love Spotify, and as you know, Freedom has our Freedom Tunes Spotify playlist. When you get out on the water, what songs are you listening to?
Yeah, I got to say that Freedom Be the 80s mix on Spotify is that's tailor made for me. That was a must if I was going, if we're going to go through the Spotify playlist. Number one song, it's got to be Poison. Nothing but a good time. It's good energy. That's usually when I'm popping in the car when I need that little pick me up after a long day. And being on the water, I mean, there's nothing better than a good time when you're out on the water. So I'm
envisioning this in my head right now. You're in the car. I'm assuming it's by yourself, not with the little ones, because they're not loving that song. Are you? I mean, I could just see you right now, just jamming to Bret Michaels.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the traffic gets a little hairy there on 75 here in Venice. So usually have a crowd around me to
right.
Me in it. So absolutely.
You got Poison, then you get Winger next, and Slayer. I know your playlist,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So the one thing that when I was talking to Barry last week about is these shirts. So I mean, Again, let's talk about this. Where did this come from? Where did you get your shirt? And thank you guys for sending this one, because I love this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes the best ideas just happen. So this shirt over here was a gift from my mother-in-law. She's always trying to get me to fit in with the locals here down in Venice, Florida. So she got me this colorful shirt. And it sat in my closet for a while. And one day she said, "Hey, Nick, I got you that nice shirt and I haven't seen it yet." So put it on one Wednesday and I dropped off my little ones for babysitting. I went into work and immediately just a lot of compliments. "Hey, Nick, that's a pretty wild shirt you got there. What is it? Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I guess it is." And sure enough, next Wednesday, I come into work with another Hawaiian shirt. And sure enough, our CFO and some others, Barry, are wearing Hawaiian shirts. And it's just kind of snowballed from there. It's been the genesis to get these shirts. Our dock staff down in Marco Island sent us pictures a couple weeks ago. They're all wearing Hawaiian shirts. So it's just been great. And honestly, it's, again, it wasn't planned. It's just something that happened organically. But every Wednesday we all walk in, and it puts a smile on our faces. It's one less day we need to kind of plan for. Of all the years that we could use a little more color, a little more reason to smile. This is it. So
I don't know. Working at home these past few months, I've been sponsored by Lululemon. That's pretty much where it's at.
There you go.
I mean, that's really where it's at. My dry cleaning bill is less than it's ever been in the history of my.
Well, there's one positive. And
right, exactly.
Built-in Wednesday attire every Wednesday.
Exactly. See, yeah, I love this thing. So, Nick, I know we all have very diverse backgrounds and certainly different backgrounds, and your background is in something that I'm very much interested in, as we've talked about craft beer very much. But how did you go from the beer industry to Freedom Boat Club?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's certainly not one I was looking for, but when the position opened up for Freedom Boat Club, I knew about them. They're a staple here in Southwest Florida. We have 19 locations, so everybody knows who Freedom Boat Club is. So I interviewed, met with John and the team, and the more I got into it, I was like, wow, this is really something I could do. There's a lot of symmetries, I'd say, between the two. The craft beer industry and boating. My first days at Freedom Boat Club were at the Miami Boat Show back in 2019. And you could just see that community. It's very tight knit and it's very relatable to what I came from. So it was a natural transition. And truthfully, with two little ones at home, probably the next couple of years we'll be out boating more than we're visiting breweries. So it worked out perfectly, and I'm pumped to be here. Like I said, it was a fun time when I was in that industry, but this one for my life now is even better.
See, and that's a really nice canned answer, because what you really meant to say was with two little ones at home, you're going to be drinking a lot more beer than you normally had before.
Maybe, yes.
It's all right. It's just between us friends here. You're good. You're a good company. So speaking of boating, Southwest Florida has some incredible boating locations, and you've had the ability and the good fortune to visit a lot of the different locations around the country. What are some of your gems? I mean, what as you're kind of going around and thinking about the Ultimate Freedom Travel Pass, what are some of the gems that folks should know about in the Freedom Network?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a bit of a homer. So I'm born and raised in the great state of Maine, vacation land. So I have to give a plug to my friends, in Maine. Tracy and Steve and the crew. It's just really cool, right? So I've lived in Maine for 18 years. Saw it from the mainland, but when you see it from the water, it's like a whole different experience, right? Then I moved down to Massachusetts and I worked in Boston for 10 plus years, and to be able to explore Massachusetts and the Cape from the water, it's like you first time you ever visit there. And the same experience as I moved down to Southwest Florida, visiting, I live in Bradenton, and seeing the waterways there, and then just traveling a short distance down to Venice, different waterways, all the way down to Marco Islands, 10,000 Islands region. It's just so many exploration. That's just the East Coast. And, what's been fun about watching these watch parties every week is that it's really it's getting me excited. I'm hoping that, post-COVID to really start visiting Chicago, Pacific Northwest, San Diego, and so forth. I'm really looking forward to adding to that list.
Well, you're welcome to Chicago anytime you want. I promise you today is not the day you want to be here, but very soon we're going to be back on the water enjoying ourselves. We'll go to a Cubs game. You bring Absolutely. The beer. We're going to do this.
Absolutely.
We're all going to do this.
Next time the Patriots come to Chicago, hopefully it's in September and we can do that.
I was going to say or a preseason game, one of the two, when it's nice and warm out, right? So, Nick, you spoke a lot about Maine and obviously, living in Southwest Florida and this Freedom is, the number one social club for boaters. Certainly we all want and love that social aspect of boating, but what type of member socials, what type of opportunities can we expect when we get on the other side of this COVID situation?
Yeah, I mean, first off, we're looking forward to that day, right? We're not sure when it's going to come, and when it does come, we'll be ready. We'll be excited. We'll do it responsibly, but we're excited for that day to come. Here in Southwest Florida, we're very fortunate. We have a lot of spring training baseball opportunities. So between the Twins and the Orioles and the Red Sox and so forth. So members love getting together. We actually were able to host some of those right before COVID hit, and all of baseball shut down and so forth. So we're hoping to continue that next year. Certainly COVID pending. We're looking at some charity fishing tournaments. We're looking at implementing potentially a charity golf event next year. We're finding a lot of our members, when they're not on the water, like to be on the link. So that's great. So we definitely love to marry those two together. And then really, a lot of boat excursions as well. In the past, we've done those where we've taken the fleet out to different islands, so forth, set up a barbecue and so forth. So like I said, when the timing's right and it's socially responsible to do so, we're looking forward to getting back and getting members together, for more social activities for sure.
So Nick, this is the Thanksgiving episode. I know we're going to be watching football on Thursday and enjoying some time, hopefully safely with friends and family if we can. But, certainly Freedom has had an unbelievable year, record growth in so many different ways, 245, 246, 247. We're going to have some big announcements coming up, of course, in the next couple of weeks. There's 50,000 members and growing fleet. Through all the craziness this year, what are some of the things you're most thankful for?
Yeah, I mean, first off, we're thankful to be open for really the majority of the year. When all this broke in March and in April, we weren't sure what the future was going to hold. We had a pause here in Southwest Florida for a couple of weeks. We know a lot of the northern clubs weren't sure if they were going to open for the season. So we're happy to report that, really all of our clubs opened up for the year. We're going to close in over 400,000 trips this year. And that's 400,000 people just being, obviously multiple trips, but people just being able to get out of their house, be with their family, get on the water. And again, of all the years of all the goodness that can happen, this is a year for that to happen. So super thankful for that. You touched upon the growth. We're super excited. You had Dan Lund on a couple of weeks ago. He's had some phenomenal growth in Southern Florida. We have the Fort Lauderdale location right there, Bahia Mar, where the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show takes place. Pacific Northwest has grown. Chicago grew a club, and it just continues. And like you said, we have some exciting stuff coming. The growth doesn't stop here. Looking forward to the future. And then just really thankful for the unique moments. We've done some things this year that doesn't happen every year in Freedom Boat Club. In Tampa, we had a baby born on one of our boats. The team went ahead and christened that boat and renamed it after the baby. Staying in there in Tampa, we also celebrated the Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning with a boat parade, and hats off to Captain Dean and the crew there to be able to turn on basically 24 hours and get the fleet ready to do that. That's impressive. And as much as it pains me to say as a Bruins fan that the Lightning won, it's a really cool experience. And like I said, those are some of the things you look back on. 2020 will be remembered for many reasons, but those are certainly some I'll remember.
No, there's no question. And the baby being born, I remember when you called and said that, I was like, no, come on. And you see the stories, and it's certainly incredible. And obviously, Freedom Boat Club is something that you're very passionate about. If you can think of what it means to you in one word, what would it be?
It's fun. It's fun. If you're not having fun on a boat, you're doing it wrong. We talked about my past. I said, had a lot of fun in the past, but moving forward, being on a boat with my family, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. The memories that are being made every time we go out are incredible. I didn't grow up in boating, but certainly my kids will, and that's pretty exciting to say and to think about as we move forward. And I know that my story is very similar to many of our members out there, which is really cool. And I love hearing those stories every day because I can relate to them.
Well, Nick, thank you very much. I hope you and your family have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. And if the weather continues to get worse here, I'm getting in the car and I'm coming to visit. And I'm not kidding.
Come anytime, Lee. We'd love to have you.
Good deal, man. Thank you very much. Cannot thank you for joining us again here on our weekly Watch Party Wednesday. Members, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Kind of, when the networks do, we're going to go down for a couple weeks and celebrate the holidays. But please send us all of your watch party requests and your fishing trips to international destinations. We look forward to seeing all of those. We are so thankful to all of you, our members, our owners every week who watch us and spend some time with us every Wednesday. Please continue to tell us everything you're doing. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great and happy holiday wherever you celebrate in the world, and we will see you again next year.